I want to start first with my motivation. My motivation is very unique. I'm from New Orleans, like I said before. My main motivation has been my father. He opened up the Hilton Garden Inn on South Peter Street and actually died the opening week of a heart attack. My dad's brother is Clarence Thomas, Supreme Court judge. In living in New Orleans, I was, kind of getting in trouble a little bit, and I was sent to Virginia to go to a military school to finish up, high school, and then came back, to play football at Nicholls State University. Then Katrina happened. When Katrina happened, it was very different for me. I opened up a business, landscaping company, while I was going into college and started making a lot of money and doing a lot of different things, employing college students, employing football players and different things of that nature. And it was a different time period for New Orleans. It was a very vacant city. Gutting houses and doing different things like that was the majority of income. But then I got shot and paralyzed. So once I got paralyzed, I had to sell off all my contracts with landscaping. Once I got shot and paralyzed, I couldn't play football anymore. Lost my scholarship opportunities, and there was limited to do different things. I grew up my whole life using my physical attributes to kind of make my way, playing sports, getting scholarships, doing things of that nature. And now I was forced to depend on my mental and what I can create. Before all this was going on, I was into graphic designing heavily. I used to do a lot of advertising with graphic designing and different things of that nature. Through this process, through my time period of being paralyzed on bed rest, I taught myself a few different things. Taught myself a few different programs, Premiere Pro, Photoshop, a few game development programs and things of that nature. And then we opened up our first gaming center. Our first gaming center was opened up in Thibodaux, Louisiana, right outside of, right next to Nicholls State University. It was very big for us. It was the only gaming center of that area in that area of Louisiana. We went from, having a location in Thibodaux to moving to New Orleans, opening up another gaming center in New Orleans. So throughout the years, we were collecting a lot of data on different competitive gamers throughout the state of Louisiana. Around this time, esports was just beginning to really jump off and grow more and more every day. After having the gaming center in New Orleans, we looked towards, the overhead started kind of getting to us more and more. Once kids go back to school, that's pretty much it throughout the year. No one's gonna come in during the day. So from that point, we went to hosting live events. Competitive gaming, we were still able to draw crowds. So we were hosting a lot of gaming tournaments and different things of that nature. Around the same time, I hung out with a lot of freelance designers and a lot of developers, different things like that, that was hanging around in these gaming centers. And we started teaching the kids. A lot of the kids coming in wanted to learn content creation. We actually got offered to do a summer camp for the first time. The summer camp was very successful and led into us starting a year-round curriculum. Around the same time, I felt the need that New Orleans didn't have a major competitive gaming event anywhere. Around this time, I actually met my friend Joe here, and we, he had already left New Orleans and sought out other opportunities, and I had to kind of beg him to start this event, NOLA Gaming Festival. NOLA Gaming Festival, we've been running for now, this will be our 4th year running. And what NOLA Gaming Festival is a event statewide where we bring in gamers and competitors of all different types of games, indie games and STEM-based projects. After doing a year-round curriculum and doing more things involving development, we started focusing more and noticing that there was a need in the city for STEM education. So that's where, okay. All right. So as you can see in the slide, these are my first 2 gaming centers. After getting out of these first 2 gaming centers, we felt the need that we wanted to host more tournaments. We branched off into hosting tournaments at restaurants, college venues, and anywhere that would have us that we could draw a crowd, clubs, everything. Around the same time, just looking at league structure, overall in esports industry, competitive gaming has still not officially formalized. All you hear about more so is, professional gamers doing this and doing that. Where we felt that there was a need on a lower end. So just like any other regular sport, we started creating youth gaming leagues, high school gaming leagues, college leagues, and amateur leagues. Locally, we partnered up with over 20 schools in the area to create a high school gaming league and have schools competing against different schools. We partnered up with the recreation and gyms throughout Louisiana, park and recreation centers throughout Louisiana, and created these youth leagues that were basically the same concept as AAU football, baseball, basketball. I always say that we're at a state in the gaming industry that it's really unorganized. Not one person that's involved in gaming or esports can officially tell you how do you become a professional gamer. So what we did is I reached out to a company, to a person based out of Chicago, and we developed a platform for this. All right, EASERS. I want to talk about our network. What we did when creating this platform is we created a database to where we have an overall ranking system from grades K through 12 as far as our youth gaming leagues, and amateur leagues is basically everybody. Through this platform, we were able to get an overall ranking system of Louisiana, Mississippi, Atlanta, Texas, and a few other areas. We were able to sign on other, organizations throughout, throughout the country that were looking for the same thing that we were looking for, to host gaming tournaments in their area and be successful at it. So the way we did it was we banded together. We're one of the only organizations that works with other organizations and other promoters and event coordinators to host these competitive tournaments. We took a lot of models that were already in existence, like the PGA Tour, World Series of Poker, and the NCAA tournament. This is how we construct our leagues. So through all of this, we basically moved IGL into more of a nonprofit area to where we were able to generate revenue and generate fundraising through all these different leagues to fuel our program. We've never been sponsored, we never partnered with any companies. We did it all out of just community involvement. Parents are basically our biggest support. Through the last 3 years, on the educational end, we facilitated over 3,000 students. And these students, we've taught digital arts, like graphic designing, programming, and a few other development pieces. Coming up, every year we do our annual fundraising event, NOLA Gaming Festival, which is approaching in June. This is something that we want to bring to the city annually. New Orleans is known for festivals, and I think before anybody can say a festival, I think it needs to stem from New Orleans. We have the biggest gaming festival, and we have a different style of festival. We took a lot of the model that we see in Jazz Fest and other festival-related events and applied it to the gaming industry. That allowed us to be different than everybody else out there. All right. This year, so what's in our future is basically, we just made a big partnership with MomoCon. MomoCon is an event that is an anime and con event that is hosted out of Atlanta that normally draws about 60 to 70,000 people every year, and it's grown. This event's been around for 15 years. Our long-term goal in working with MomoCon is actually January 2020 is we're doing our first tour. We would do competitive video game tournaments in all the southern regions and all the southern states, and work with YMCA, youth centers, schools, colleges, and other tournament coordinators to draw traffic and host events of various sizes. We have a permanent year-round program now. What we do with our digital arts program is, our students here locally are very underfunded. We still have 6th and 7th graders that have never used a computer before that come to us. So we were kind of forced to take a step back. We were forced to take a step back and show them some of the basic necessities of, the computer and before diving into the digital arts. And this is something that we created a year-round program off of. So what we have created now is a STEM league. Just like a science fair, we have a digital arts league that we host throughout the year. What our students do is can create any project that falls under, software development, game design, all sorts of things. They work on throughout the year and race for a scholarship at the end of the year. They compete with other, students throughout the state and surrounding areas. This will be the second year funding over $5,000 in scholarships that we raised just from the community.